is the Media Lab. In this segment, we analyze specimens, which can be news articles, columnists, or even political players that made us feel stupid. Individuals that promote national stupidity will be exposed with no mercy.
Yes.
Welcome.
Uh, this week, they are not actually columnists, others in the media this week that promoted national stupidity. The people that promoted national stupidity were actually political players, and those that promoted national stupidity was a man himself, a dictator, Yoweri Museveni, when he came up and told the country that his father God, because we can quote him last in the other 2 weeks, he told country that actually he's following Jesus's road, footsteps. So we ask him,
He even made his own fishers of men, yeah?
fishers
Just
of
like
men,
Jesus.
just like Jesus. So this week he told that God cannot be there taking care of idiots and those he referred to Ugandans, the people that elected him.
Yeah.
That is absolutely stupidity.
Another person that promoted national stupidity this week was General Eli Tumwine with his lamentations. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, Eli came out crying. He remembers that the government has to think of handing over power after when he's made political advisor.
Yeah.
In our view, we think that General Eli Tumwine is following a script of the regime that okay, at this point
This is what you're supposed to say.
this is what you're supposed to say. That's why he's very reluctantly even singing is it Buyimba, we call it a Buyimba Wechiyogo. So that was absolutely national stupidity.
We'll
This
not
week.
forget Olanya's was denied entry into the UK.
So of course, Jacobo Olanya is the new
The
speaker.
new speaker. Yeah.
On this point, we'll tell you this a few weeks ago when Olanya became the speaker. We did not talk about it because our team was not yet fully constituted. But let me take you a little bit what we were thinking about Olanya's becoming a speaker. First of all, it was confirming our suspicion that actually General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has landed officially, is taking power back where he got it from. And this is a lesson we learned from another dictator in Kenya. That was Mzee Arap Moi, Ratik Arap Moi. When his time came, he assembled two Gikuyus. That is one in opposition. The current president of Kenya was his side. That there were two opposition. He created Uhuru Kenyatta, and also he created Mwai Kibaki. Mwai Kibaki opposed Moi, but he previously he had told Kenyans that actually someone who thinks that can collapse is thinking of cutting a mvule tree with a leather
razor blade. Yeah.
Yes, but he was the first person. So Moi, he was smart. He got power from Mama Ngina and also waited Mama Ngina's son, that is Uhuru Kenyatta, to become a president.
So basically, he got power from the gamer community, and he had to return it.
He turned it.
Yeah.
So Museveni, since he's a student of Moi and Milton Obote,
he's comparing notes.
He attempted to do the same thing. That's why you see his cabinet, his new cabinet, has same characteristics. On this one, we'll tell you who is the vice president, who is the speaker, and these people have a lot in common. And that was a contact card he gave to the Buganda community. He told you that I do not trust you
Mhm.
and I did not get power from you. So Olanya is becoming a speaker.
Mhm.
It threatens those in Western Uganda, the Western Uganda stealing group. They know that once Obote or Amini people
Mhm.
get power back,
Mhm.
they may treat us the way we treated Ugandans.
And to this,
So they are scared.
we pose the question whether it
Mm,
will work. In Kenya, it
mm,
worked,
mhm,
returning back the power to the
mhm.
people who had rightfully taken it from. Do you think it will work in
No,
Uganda?
this way, that's why Olanya, now we're talking about him.
Mm-hmm.
Olanya's unsafe uh, living in Uganda, because if he's sick or not,
Mm-hmm.
Uganda's hospitals, why did Olanya did not trust those
Yes,
hospitals?
hospitals, yeah.
Yet his region is now in line to succeed
Mm-hmm.
the ruling Western Uganda group, or the stealing, like
Mm-hmm.
I prefer to call them.
Yeah.
He is unsafe. That's why he runs to UK where he is denied.
Mm-hmm.
In my view, this one is mine, not the second stand here. I do not think Museveni's plan
Mm-hmm.
will work because it is too late. He is run out of political oxygen. It cannot work.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely zero. I would rather call it cost 90, absolute cost 90 to mathematicians.
Another person that promoted national stupidity this week was the Prime Minister Nabanja, who
Yeah.
said that if you've ever received a 500,000 Ugandan shillings in your mobile money account, you're not vulnerable. So
Uh-huh.
to this we ask, do you think you're vulnerable or not?
This was a question I asked Ugandans. Two questions I asked this week on my Facebook account. You can look for Kalyangu Japan. I asked, are you vulnerable? And I asked another question, are you an idiot? But let me answer the vulnerability.
Mhm. Are you vulnerable yourself?
Yes, I can be vulnerable
Okay.
in one way or the other.
Mhm.
Madam Nabanja, I know the language you're using may be hard to understand, but
Comprehend.
we to comprehend. But let me address you. You can hire someone to translate for you some of these words. Madam Nabanja, if it wasn't national stupidity, then we don't know what you are promoting. Because as a statistician, I'm aware that Uganda's database
Mhm.
is actually not a truthful one. You in government does not have the rightful number of accounts, those who are carrying out, those who are owning mobile money
Mobile
account.
money, yeah.
Bank of Uganda last year told us that actually Uganda
Mhm.
transferred around 30 billion US dollars
Mhm.
in the year 2020. But that means
Mhm.
if Bank of Uganda could afford to monitor
Mhm.
those accounts, and the government chose to come up with a new tax after reading that report, and to us that was another stupidity. This is why we think this way. When you say that vulnerability is measured because of 500,000 Uganda shillings,
Mhm.
ask yourself, how long does it take you in the same country
Mhm.
to spend that money? And if I had received that money
Mhm.
just 3 days ago, and make an assumption that I have a sick person who died of COVID
Exactly.
19
Mhm.
and the IHK or any other hospital in Uganda or Mulago asked for 126 million.
Mhm.
I'm a family member of that person who died,
Mhm.
and this is part of the contribution I gave. Do I have that 500,000 anymore? I do not think so.
Mhm.
Okay, take an example. If I'm a parent who had paid fees
Mhm.
just 3 weeks ago, or 4 weeks ago, or a month ago, to
Mhm.
take back my children to study, to school, and now they're back, do you think I'm still having that money? I
No.
do not think so.
Mhm.
So your method is absolute theft. And this one is not going to benefit Ugandans, but rather those who have specialized in stealing using government organs. But before I wrap up this, I want also to remind Ugandans, if government failed to deliver portion or beans, and we know these people who are ruling us, they are kind of hyenas. They run for everything they can steal.
Yeah.
Do you think money, they can give you money if they fail to give you beans? If you believe that, I do not know why.
Moving on. Oxygen cans. We found that some oxygen to hold oxygen cans in your house was banned. It was even surprising that some people actually can afford to have oxygen in their homes in case of emergencies. Well, maybe in the hospitals, the oxygen cans are very
Mhm,
rare and
mhm,
they're scarce.
mhm.
So, what do you have to say about that?
Of course, why we call this national stupidity? In first place, how do people own oxygen cans in
Right.
their homes before even they were banned? Actually, who gave them a leeway to own them in the first place? Hmm? That is something intriguing. And actually, this was a headline of Head Monitor, Daily Monitor, somewhere in this week. Was it a Thursday or a Friday?
Mm.
You may permit me if I do not remember exactly the.
We'll put the
Imagine,
dates. We'll put
to
the
put the
dates.
date. Imagine a situation where someone can call and say, "Bring my oxygen
Yeah.
here."
But I think this also poses something like people do not trust our hospitals
Mhm.
anymore. Because if I feel like I am at the risk of falling sick to the extent that I would rather have oxygen at my home, because if I go to the hospital it means I'll die.
Mhm.
So it also promotes something that people no longer trust our national hospitals.
Yeah, this reminds me of a book, The Character of Selfishness, where people
The
survive
virtue of
the virtue
selfishness, yes.
of
It's a
selfishness.
book by and something. We're going to put the title down.
So that now to survive in a country called Uganda, instead of going to the hospital, you can own oxygen. So basically, from owning oxygen, people are going to own pharmacies, people are going to own hospitals,
Yeah.
just like people have been owning saloons in their
Yeah,
homes.
it's like owning like a bottle of
What
oil.
oil, like now
Yeah,
this is my thing.
yeah.
Eh? That
It's
is
sad because it's not everyone who can afford to buy oxygen and keep it in their
exactly,
homes.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it means actually the people who have access
Hmm.
to these oxygen cans, there will be people who are serving the
Of
government
course, of
who
course.
can have prior information. First of all, to own an oxygen can, it means you have to have a certain level of education that you know the danger of the disease. You must have reached a certain level of information you access in the country that where we're going. So that is uh, like I want to use a term that is a vote of no confidence in a government you're serving
Yes,
if you did that,
and it's also very selfish.
and that is absolutely selfishness. That is in our view.
Moving on, we have also apart from Olanya who was we think he was sick and he was denied entry into the UK. There are other ministers who actually had to go to Kenya in
Kenya.
Nairobi to get medical attention. So what is it with the Ugandan hospitals? People are holding oxygens in their
Hmm.
homes. People
Hmm.
are flying to UK. People are flying to Nairobi. What is the problem with our hospitals?
That is a question that all Ugandans are supposed to answer.
And the funny thing is, the people who are actually flying out, they are people in the government.
Mhm.
They do not have trust in the government that they serve in.
Yeah, exactly like I said, that is this week has only and only enabled us to expose the government incompetence.
Right.
Nothing else. The president cannot comprehend his speech. He
Mm-hmm.
cannot speak respectively. He cannot respect a man is so full of himself. His ministers are following the suit. His like everyone around him is full of themselves and the stupidity, like we defined it here, and we do not choose to be apologetic on this one.
Yeah.
We choose to address you as you deserve.
Okay, that's
And
all.
I think in our last segment of this program, we'll be actually giving you, will be inspired by what we call prescription. After when we complain all these things, we identify the dangers. We would love to be putting your mind sober so that you can come back and watch us. By the way, thank you for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe. But today, I wanted us to take them through part of the book that is going to that inspire us this week. Is called The Small Big. The Small Big was written by three individuals, and these are behavioral scientists. And this book is kind of an extension of, or explanation, or simplification, a simplification of another book entitled the uh, the the psychology of persuasion. This other book was written by Robert Kalanchin, if I pronounce that name well. You excuse me. Now he's teaming up with other two to take us through one of the things. One of the first, actually the introduction of this part, this book, took me to think, to reflect deeper. They actually start with telling us what they call no-show uh, performance. They started with different artists, and then also took us through how much the UK lost by missing doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
And they tell us that actually they did an analysis in just a single year. UK could lose up to 800 million pounds by people not showing
Showing
up
up for the
on
appointments, yeah.
Appointments.
And I think that's one of the reasons why if you miss your appointment in countries like Italy, you pay. Like you'll be
Exactly.
charged if you miss an appointment without, like, if you book an appointment and you will not make it, you're supposed to call a few days early and say, I would like my appointment to be cancelled. Otherwise, they're going to charge you the same amount they would have charged you if you had gone for the actual appointment.
But also, like to summarize the first chapter, actually, this book is very interesting. It is in very short chapters,
Yeah.
up to 50
50,
chapters.
yes.
But we'll pick one by one. But this week, I just want to take you through. Let us take them through the
The
first,
law of,
the way the law
of persuasiveness.
yeah, the law of
Yes.
persuasiveness. But here they're trying to tell us. They tip from the social proof chapter, which is in the other book I talked about, the psychology of persuasion, and then the social proof, and then they give an example of how Britain, how do you persuade people to pay more taxes?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Why we started reading this book a few weeks ago.
Maybe this is a book the Ugandan government should read on how to persuade people to pay taxes.
How did
So
they
that they
persuade?
don't, the Uganda Revenue Authority does not come up again complaining that it's only 1 million people paying their taxes.
A few weeks, I think that was last week. They talked about that.
So we do recommend this book to you, URA.
URA officials. You can read this book, but in this book they show you actually that by mere fact that the Her Majesty, Custom and Revenue and Custom just changed the letter, and they were more truthful to the citizens that actually there are so many British people who do not pay tax on time. That intrigued the mind of other citizens that, oh, so we are many who do not pay, let me do good. And they show that the revenue office was getting around 290 millions
Mm-hmm.
in a year, but just a change in this later,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it it improved from 290
Mm-hmm.
to 560, and that was something like from 56
Mm-hmm.
to 56% of the total revenue that
Mm-hmm.
is expected to 86%
Mm-hmm.
by just a mere document
Yeah.
and being truthful. So, with that, I want to ask our government, why can't you be truthful to your people, to the people of Uganda, instead of keeping on lying and lying and lying here?
Okay, that's all we had for this week. Be sure to join us next week for more Media Lab as we damage national stupidity.